What's up everybody, D-Man back, welcome to a brand new video, and today we will be checking out and reviewing, Shin Ultraman from SH FigureArts. Not only is this gonna be my first SH FigureArts figure, but this will also be my first Ultraman figure review. So that's pretty hype.
Ultraman, here he comes from the sky. Ultraman, watch our hero
SH FigureArts comes from Bandai and Tamashii Nations. It's similar to the SH MonsterArts line, except it's just an offshoot of that. I've heard that the quality varies and that FigureArts is actually a little higher quality than MonsterArts, so that's pretty cool. Luckily for them, Shin Ultraman is an incredibly easy figure to get right. He's so simplistic that it'd be kind of hard to mess him up, so I'm starting out with an easy one here. Starting out, we have the box, and I really like it. It's very nice and simplistic. I love the red and white color scheme, very Ultraman. I like that they've got the Tamashii Nations stamp of approval on it. The pose of Ultraman is a little NPC, but it actually works really well because it's the same pose Ultraman was in his reveal image. The side shows a little bit more of a dynamic Ultraman in his fighting stance. The other side is this really nice close-up of him that looks great, looks just like the movie. And then the back of the box, you've got Ultraman on full display in an instance I think works really well. He looks great in there. You've got the Ultraman in the Spacium Ray pose, and then you've got the Ultraman doing his big Ultra Rise pose. Good stuff. Bottom of the box just says some info on it. Top of the box is just the name, Ultraman. Oh, nice. I didn't even think about that, but I really like it. Getting the gentleman out here, we see he comes with an array of different swappable hands. Those all look great. He comes with 4 different pairs of hands. Looks like he's got one with the fingers open, which I think is the coolest. He's got fists, he's got an open palm, and then he's got kind of a curved palm. That's awesome. And then there he is. I think I'll either be rocking the open fingers or the fists, unless I go with the Spacium Ray, in which case it makes it pretty easy which one I'm going with. Oh yeah, that nice SH MonsterArts styled smell. We're back in business. What am I even talking about? I swapped the hands. Of course I'm gonna go with the hands. I need to. It just wouldn't be right without it. Oh, he's awesome, man. This figure has a very nice in-hand feel to him. It's so different than the MonsterArts, obviously. He's so small and humanoid compared to those, but even comparing him to like the Kong, he moves really smooth. He's got a great range of motion. I accidentally popped his head off and it took way longer to get back on than it should have. That happens. Yeah, this is really wonderful. As far as the sculpt goes, I think they've done a really good job bringing Shin Ultraman to life. He is such a smooth and metallic character, so it's gonna be a pretty easy one to nail, but I do think they've done a very good job with it. And especially given the way he's painted, they bring out the metallic quality very well, but even in terms of the sculpt, he's got that very Shin Ultraman styled metallic body. It's a certain type of smooth, but it's not too smooth. I do like that there's almost a very faint ab line on here, and then on the back there are some sort of wrinkles around the shoulders. It's not as wrinkly as Shin Ultraman was in that they animated Ultraman in the movie to have the wrinkles of the 1966 suit, which was a very cool thing they did in that film. Did it make a ton of sense? I don't know. I don't know what Ultraman's skin is made of, but it was cool. It was really awesome to look at, and it made him very dynamic. This figure could have gone further with that, I suppose, but I'm kind of glad they didn't because this gives him a bit more of a base stance to work from. I especially love the way they've done the eyes. It's got that kind of honeycomb pattern within the eyes, which is really neat. The head sculpt looks fantastic. He looks just like he does in the movie. They've done a great job with the ears, with the fin on his head, with the mouth especially. Those hand accessories were really good, so there's a lot of different hands that all had different features to them that I really liked, and the whole body overall just looks really nice. The feet are also really cute. He's got the very Grinch-like feet where they kind of curve up and point up. I don't know, is that the Grinch who's got those? That's a very elf-like thing to have. I think it's fun. And Ultraman's feet, ever since I've noticed they had that, I can't not notice that they have that. It's very fun. The paint job is fantastic. The eyes look great. They're that nice translucent white. They look just like they do in the movie. The silver is really wonderful all over the body. Like I said, it really does capture that metallic shine to it without being made of metal or anything like that. So it's a really great paint color they've gone with. The red looks wonderful. It's not as shiny as the silver, which is really cool because it brings out that texture difference between the silver and the red, which is on Ultraman's model. And it's pretty accurate to the colors colors of Ultraman in the movie, so they've done a really good job. He's a little muted, he could be more vibrant, but that's because the movie's color palette was a little muted and could have been a little more vibrant. And then obviously the articulations where a figure like this is really gonna shine. You're gonna be able to get him in all sorts of poses, you know, you can make him fly, you can make him do these big kicks, he can do all sorts of action. There's his little karate chop. Yeah, you can do a ton with this guy. It's really cool. And he does have such a freedom of motion because he is such a small humanoid figure. He probably has pretty accurate to the range of motion of a person. Like, it doesn't seem like I can really get the legs to flip all the way around, but you know, you really can't do that on a person. I guess I can sort of manipulate them to do that, but I have to stick his joints way out to get his leg to spin like that. But it's cool to know that it can spin like that. I think this thing is fantastic, and I'm sure you could get lots of great toy photography with this guy. My favorite little detail is that even the toes articulate. His toes can curl up. And while Ultraman's face has always been so static, at least you can make him look around, and he has a very good range of motion with that head. I am going to be a little careful with it because I don't want to pop it off again, just because it did take me a little bit to try and work it back into position. I actually found that it was easiest when I flipped the head backwards. It became easier. He's just so cool. I'm really glad I finally have an Ultraman toy. You'll see in a second, he's not my first Ultraman toy technically, but this is the first one that's like articulated without resistance. I think in total there's 25 points of articulation on this little guy, which is really impressive. And I mean, look at that. There's just so much flexibility to him that he can get into so many different poses. It's really great. And the fact that his head popped off I don't think is an issue at all because it's on a ball joint. It can do that so the figure doesn't break. It's so that he can be this articulated without breaking, and I really like that stuff. Literally the only thing that I have a nitpick on, they painted the label info on the bottom of the foot, which I always find to be very ugly whenever toys do that. I wish they would pick colors a little closer to the original toy if they have to put the legal info on there. As far as like the joint openings, I really don't have an issue with those. I don't think they detract from the sculpt at all. As for our figure comparisons here, I don't know who releases these guys. I honestly don't remember. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's like Mattel or something, but here's my Shin Ultraman standing next to my Ultraman 66, which I do like. Very different styles of figures here, so they are obviously very different next to each other. But there's the two of them for comparison, and you can see that the Shin Ultraman is much smaller. He's actually on a much smaller scale than even MonsterArts generally makes. While I didn't get the new SH MonsterArts Jet Jaguar, I do have this Bandai Jet Jaguar who stands just a little taller. So I'm thinking that this SH Shin Ultraman's probably at the 4 to 5 inch range, whereas this is about the 6 inch range. So you can see the two of them, and they actually look pretty solid next to each other. I think Shin Ultraman is actually the size of Jet Jaguar, but they look pretty good together. I bet these two could be buddies. Look, they're shaking. They're doing the shake. Oh, I just kind of wanted to because they're in a similar vein. Here's my Gipsy Danger from Pacific Rim. I think this was NECA. Obviously standing a lot taller and a very different style of action figure, but I just wanted to get the two of them out next to each other to show those guys off. In that highly articulated range, here's the Gipsy Avenger from Pacific Rim Uprising. The reason I wanted to get this one out is because it's a smaller scale, similar to the Shin Ultraman, and then because also they are both highly articulated. This is the real matchup we've all been waiting for, and it is Shin Ultraman versus the guy he's ripping off, and that's Way Big. Here's my Way Big from back in the day. This is a Bandai Way Big. I believe these guys were made in the 3 to 4 inch range, so I'm now a little confused about the scaling here. But actually, these guys look pretty awesome next to each other, and you can definitely see the inspo. You can see how one inspired the other. I won't say which one, but one of them definitely inspired the other. I love that. I love that I have the two of them now. I love both characters, obviously. I think they're both awesome. And then just for size accuracy's sake, I got my big Way Big out to stand next to him. And Way Big would be, I think, a little taller than Shin Ultraman. So there's the two of those guys next to each other. So that is Shin Ultraman. He's an incredibly sculpted figure with great articulation and a paint job that nails the aesthetic of the character from the movie. The thing is, he's just so simplistic. I wish it could have come with a little more. The hands are great. I'm glad that he has multiple hand accessories, but it does bum me out that he didn't come with the Spacium Ray, especially because there's no real reason for him not to. Given the price tag, given that this was on the more expensive side of things, I would have liked a Spacium Ray. And the price tag is going to be the only thing that really holds this figure back. Because other than that, the whole thing really works for me. I love the feel of it. I love the articulation. I love the size. I love the style. I think he's really awesome. It was very expensive. And for a figure this expensive, it would have been nice to come with something a little extra, like the Spacium Ray would have been nice. Spacium Ray? How do I say that? I don't know. I'm rocking with Spacium these days. Overall, I guess because the price is gonna weigh him down, I will give Shin Ultraman an 8 out of 10. I think the figure is really fantastic. It's just because it's on the more expensive side, I would have liked it to come with a little something extra. But if it did come with the Spacium array, maybe I'd be willing to give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's that fantastic. Do you have any of the SH FigureArts Ultraman figures? And if so, do you have this one? Let me know what you think of yours down below if you do have any of these. And what are your thoughts on Shin Ultraman overall? Did you like the movie as much as I did? I think it's really awesome. Comment below and let me know. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.